Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
Hello, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky, the Dragonchain Updates show. This is episode 114, 0xf4. It is the 245th weekly episode with AMA and everything in it. A reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice, if that ever mattered. And stay tuned after the updates for the weekly AMA. This week, first up on Dragonchain Updates, our Super Happy Dragon Lucky distribution for the governance of this show itself. Last week created 790 lot. There were 2 questions for 197 lot each. There were no featured posts. The host received 197 lot and Dragonchain received 198 lot. Next, we'll go to Den.Social updates. So the April 2024 layer creation process, LCP, commitment phase is now live. The winners will be the number 1 layer as ranked by unique voter and the number 1 layer proposal as ranked by lore committed. All commitments need to be made by next Tuesday, April 16th at 1000 hours Eastern, 1400 UTC. And make sure you get in there and vote. I need to make sure I do that as well. I haven't even gotten a chance to go look at them yet. Also, DinDAO updates. There is a new format, so do see the post in the DinDAO layer. Make sure you reply with a comment or topic for discussion. We'll respond to everything in line, and if we need to, we can, have a quick call directly. How do I say directly when we need, if we need, right? Next, we'll go to World Blockchain Roundtable. Last week, there was a pretty great episode on blockchain app stores to challenge app store monopolies. Go watch and share it. The more views it gets first week, the more lot all the participants will get. And this week, episode 150 airs today at 1100 Eastern, 1500 UTC in about 55 minutes. And the topic is, can blockchain create a new internet, or related questions, right? If you haven't gotten in there yet, you still have a few more minutes to get in and place a question to get credit. And you'll get governance points for that show as well. So episode 150, remember that. Also, we do DRAKARIA updates now. So thanks for watching the past couple of weeks, sharing the updates. Gateway keys, I do believe, are coming pretty soon. I don't know when we'll kick that off. We also have, so I have 2 updates this week. Pretty, I guess, simple updates, but one way or another important. That if you've looked at the white paper, the blockchain section is not fleshed out, right? It says more info soon on it because there was a lot to share And this is one of the things that is very interesting. If you can imagine, we've already talked about this, that Drakaria will have its own chain. It will be built on Dragonchain, of course. It will have a level 1 business node that it runs its own chain. And that could expand in the future too. I don't know. There are a lot of different things we could do with that, but the main point is that it'll be running on Dragonchain, importantly, because of what it does. And one of the key concepts that we are going to be using in Drakaria, as you already know, is, when, for example, all the hatches of the eggs are based upon Ethereum blocks. And the completion of the hatching is based on multiple Ethereum blocks and multiple Bitcoin blocks. And so the concept is essentially that we are able to bring, and we are going to, formally bring in Ethereum, Bitcoin, later other chains as well, and possibly also later other types of data for entropy. So we're calling it entropy capture, essentially, where not only is the chain going through Dragonchain out to Bitcoin and out to Ethereum to provide great proof in the history that is building on the Drakaria blockchain, but also we will be capturing those blocks from the outside, every Bitcoin block, every Ethereum block, and placing it directly onto Drakaria's own chain. There are a couple of details that aren't finalized. I'm assuming right now it's going to be a special transaction type on the Drakaria blockchain that will be an entropy capture transaction type. And anyway, the reason that matters is because essentially games, other collectibles, other than dragons, would then be able to pull in much shorter time, or if they want it to be regular. If they don't, they can decide, but that they will be able to even do sub block entropy capture. So there's a bunch of really neat stuff about that matters, like say if you had a real-time game or something. So anyway, important stuff. And also another update, if you are able, go and watch the KIFS crypto. It was posted on, I don't know if Drakaria World on X posted it or not. They will if they haven't yet. And I know that KIFS crypto has, and I personally have, and I think maybe Dragonchain has. So get on there and watch that. It was a good higher level rundown of the vision of the project and what it's doing, and a few other things going on with Dragonchain and me and partners, and so it's worth a watch. If you can, go watch that. So then we go to the AMA questions. So while I am refreshing that, please make sure you like and share this episode of Super Happy Dragon Lucky. And let's go down here and see the first question. So the first question, I am worth mentioning are the new lair proposals in Den. Colombia lair, very interesting. I wonder how many people we have from Colombia on Den. That would be interesting to know. I think that I know there's some people in South America for sure, right? Homesteading lair, which would be amazing. I have friends. I would love to do that. I don't know if that's possible, but anyway, when I leave crypto, maybe I'll do that. Tax revolt lair, no comment. Simulation hypothesis, the matrix lair, that's super interesting, right? Protest lair, again, no comment. So great point. Thanks for sharing. Simulation hypothesis, and I did give you energy, although that's not a question. Aladita, next question. Not important question, just for fun, if you like to say something about this picture. Okay, so about this picture. I am no expert in these sorts of things, but it is interesting. And especially, I have no idea what this grid is, right? Maybe you ought to tell me what this is, but the sun being linked to gold, and I don't know what level, or spiritual level, or symbolic level, but the moon with silver. I like those two comparisons. Mercury with Mercury, of course. I don't. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. Venus with copper. Mars with iron. That's odd, isn't it? No, it isn't. Mars with iron doesn't make sense. Jupiter with tin, and Saturn with lead. That's very interesting. Anyway, no idea. I'm not really sure what I can say about that. So thanks for giving us that, though. And tell us what those grids are, and why the moon grid is bigger than the sun grid. Does that make sense? Okay, next, Aladita. Hello, Dragon family. Hope everyone is doing well. I have a question and suggestion mixed up about Dracaria. The question or suggestion: is it possible if Dracaria can use time as a utility for hatching higher density eggs sooner, always on probability based, but more time applied, more chances of hatching? Or time could be applied on hatched dragons, for example. More time applied, the size of the dragon shows up bigger. Dragon in animations, it can be one time use as well as applied time would burn, and dragon size state would stay bigger on base of application of time quantity. I like the thought of using time for various things in terms of, even, hey, we're not going to tell you how many dragons it'll cost. We'll tell you how much time it'll cost. So if it's 1,000,000 time, then maybe your 1,000 dragons have 1,000,000 time attached, and if you kill that 1,000,000 time, then you get maybe an egg spawn or something. I don't know. We're talking about some of that, and we haven't really gotten far into the discussion yet. Although I guess a quick update. It's not approved yet, but we're kind of moving forward with the thought that we can accept crypto, Ethereum, or US dollar, and also dollar coin, maybe some type of stable coin, and also dragons, right? So we still have to approve or essentially vote on every single type of currency we would accept, or type of payment or offering or fee or whatever you would call it. I don't know, because time would not be a payment, really, right? It would be a sacrificial offering of some type. So it might be cool. It might be fitting. Just some dragon thoughts. Don't know if the SEC will be happy with that or not, because they don't want to see time-based products. I think that's why understanding tokenized micro licensing takes so much time. I don't think, I don't know. I don't want to speak for them. Of course, I would never do that. But I don't think they understand what time is for, or understand, even, I don't think they want to understand. It's that whole thing. If your paycheck requires you to not understand a thing, you're not going to understand a thing. So that's how that works, I do think. Corruption without a single measurable proof is the best of corruption. True transparency is not good for corruption-based world order. Very true. So we'll talk more about, if it gets approved, we'll talk more about how dragons and how time can be used in that, and whether there are some unique ways to think about it. So it should be interesting, if anything, if nothing else. Next, I am for I am. Great question, by the way, Aladita. Thank you very much. I am for I am asks, I'm fascinated by collective opinions or decisions of a group tending to be more accurate. And this has been proven through the, quote, wisdom of the crowd contest. It's also been accurate using Den's ability to incentivize human behavior. I understand that wisdom of the crowd is not always infallible and can be influenced by factors like group dynamics or information cascades. Yes, propaganda, all types of things that can affect it, right? Question: is Den's ability to find accuracy in information fallible in the same way from group dynamics or information cascades? I think you'd have to say surely it is, and it's also fallible or not infallible based upon a range of time. So the fact that anyone only has an hour to change their vote, right? I mean, you can put a vote in. Let's say there's a piece of content that is 5 days old. You just now see it. You can put a vote in, and you have 1 hour to change that vote, because what we didn't want to do was allow you to follow that, the sheep, let's say. We wanted it to be your objective as much as possible, not perfectly even, but your objective evaluation of the content, right? And unaffected by others. We would love it if it was more blind, even for the early periods, for that reason. Now, if you remember, if you were here long enough ago, it initially would tell you that the consensus was currently positive or negative, and that led to obviously a lot of people um, just following the crowd to say, "Oh, it's going down. I'm going to vote it down a whole bunch so I can get my reward." And that's not what we want. What we want is for you to make that evaluation. So therefore, it now does not show whether it is up or down. It just shows you the total amount of energy in that content prediction market, right? So that was one way to attenuate. It doesn't necessarily prevent or eliminate, but it does attenuate the ability for someone to follow the crowd in a way that is not honest, I guess, on their part. So the interesting thing about it, though, is that it is at least theoretically possible, and I would be open. Obviously, I'm sure that there are some things we could add to improve its capability to do this, but it was very much designed to, and you can look at the white paper for some of the follow-on reward, how you get a piece of the reward based upon how long after you uh, uh, evaluated it and how old that prediction market is. But it is possible to reverse. Let's say something goes 5,000 positive, and then more people come in and realize that doesn't belong in this layer. It could flow negative, and there are outcomes based upon that day to day, because if it's 3 days later, they might have gotten rewards for the first day where it was positive, but then they lose some of what they gain, not in a negative to what they earned in the prior, but let's say on the fifth day, that they will lose other rewards that they might have gotten from other content because this one went negative. So there's a bunch of stuff like that, and I know from studying history for a long time that the consensus of humans is never stable. It's never solid, especially over longer periods of time, obviously, right? Something that would be considered natural and reasonable one day will be considered, either silly, ridiculous, or potentially even evil another day, 50 or 100 years later. And you could look at it, so many things in history that are like that. And, it's hard to put yourself in the mind and culture of a person living 100 years ago, let alone 2,000 years ago. So that's why it's very interesting. And it applies to what Den does, right? So, and there might be better ways to do it. There might be better ways to, maybe a challenge to what was a prior consensus, right? There might be something there. We haven't needed it yet, but it is super interesting. And if you're talking more of the day to day, it's definitely fallible. If you're talking about people attacking it on purpose, but at the same time, that and it's built to breed opportunity for the other side to, or let's say that people are trying to manipulate one direction. It is built to create an opportunity for a correction, and it's still all objective as far as the system goes, but tends to work. And you can look at any of the studies on wisdom of the crowd, but especially, in my opinion, on wisdom of the crowd as it applies to prediction markets, because prediction markets very much attract input and basically provide that input with the risk and with the reward, right? So, please come in and provide your input. Here's the risk, which you might not gain anything. Here's the reward, which you might. So, getting enough people in there, and the more people in there, the more likely we will get accurate results, right? Next, that's it. So there's and I do reserve the right to revise and extend my remarks, as they say. There's no featured post today. And in closing, let's see here. I'm going to go and show you. Let's go to the matter. So anyway, you can get all different colors of matter merchandise. I think there are mugs and stuff too, right? So I don't think I have any mugs, but I definitely have some of the. I have one of the hoodies with the embroidery on it. It's pretty freaking nice. And if you are able, please go to our legal defense fund at legalfund.dragonchain.com to donate money so that we can pay our attorneys. Things are moving. There are depositions this month and next month, I do believe. And we'll give you updates as things move forward. I'm not a lawyer, so it's hard to quite understand all of the games that they play and all the things that they do. And it's hopefully it'll be fair, and hopefully we will get a fair shake, and we'll see how it all turns out. But anyway, thank you, everyone. And let's see here. I think that's it. Double check. Make sure you follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Rowe on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Den.Social. And have a good week. See you in a few minutes on the other side.